Well, it's Thursday, and you all know what that means. As you know, probably we're going to be reviewing, of course, as always, Ring of Honor featuring many matches as we are on the road to Supercard of Honor, which is going to be huge. We also have some matches that are tune ups for those, of course, we're going to be witnessing. And then we move on with TNA featuring many matches as well. Well, we have a bit of surprise that we finally get to see. And then, of course, we have the with Elijah match where Frankie Kazarian takes on Elijah. As you know, their war has been raging on for quite some time, so this is gonna be a blast. And then, as always, we'll wrap up our episode as usual with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events and promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things does pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information is unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do some real-timey news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Nagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us and click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough of the jibber jabbers. Let's get started. So, let's begin with Ring of Honor. Alright, Ring of Honor, as you know, I mentioned we are on the road to Supercard of Honor. As you know, it's one of their biggest pay-per-views every year. Kind of like their version of WrestleMania, in case anybody asks that question. Now, our opening match, we have Daddy Magic Matt Menard taking on the Alpha Konosuke Takeshita. Now, I'm not going to deny about, Takeshita winning the match or anything, but we know how talented he is. We know how good he is. Exactly, he's a rising star. And not to mention Daddy Magic, we have seen him wrestle. He knows exactly what he needs to do. But when it comes to the Alpha, that is a different story. Apparently, he took him out with the knee strike. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, adios. Now, our next match, we have Shane Taylor taking on the Southern Psycho, Mance Warner. Now, of course, we know Mance Warner's reputation. He is someone you do not trade lightly. Now, before anybody asks about this, is Mance Warner signed with AEW/Ring of Honor? Well, the obvious question is, I don't think so, because they never mentioned it. There has been a report that he did appear in ROH tapings, and I believe this is one of them. So it's still unclear whether he's signed or not. We know that he could go anywhere. He said he doesn't care. It doesn't matter if he goes to AEW or to WWE. He loves all wrestling. Doesn't matter for him. But hopefully we'll get the answer one day when the time is right, and I don't think that's timing. But Shane Taylor, I have to say, he plays the part where he's the guy who is showing the world who exactly he is, that he's not here to play games, that he is the man who rules Ring of Honor with an iron fist, even though he may not have the top title, but that's exactly what it's about. So we'll see where that leads us from there. But he did took him out with a kind of like a small package pile driver, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done. Now we did see an interview with the premier athletes. Well, they're being a bunch of dicks about everything else because, of course, we know they've been on a roll ever since Story Denali made her presence known. But we all know that idiot Sterling is faking his arm brace. We know there's nothing wrong with them. Apparently, Coleman Caprice mentioned that he's seen him doing some push-ups even without the brace. So that's how he is. And of course, Story Denali was in a match against Jay-Z Love. Well, this match was already over by the time it even began, and when she chokeslammed her, 1, 2, 3, done. Now, our next match, we have Lio Rush taking on Alan Angels, formerly known as 5 of the Dark Order. Well, this is something unique for Angels to deal with someone who, well, we don't know what's wrong with him. We know he's talking to some people and all that, but I'm sure he had no idea what he got himself into, because when it comes to that, you try to be, is he contagious? But unfortunately, it didn't do any help for Angels at all, because Lio Rush applied like a somewhat of a blue thunder bomb, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done. Now our next match is part of the Pure Rules match. We have Deonna Purrazzo taking on Demi Reed. I like to say this is a tune-up match. As you know, Deonna will be defending the Women's Pure Championship against Diamante, one of Athena's minions. And this, I have to say, she doesn't have to worry too much, because she knows exactly what she's doing, because she applied the Fujiwara armbar onto Reed, and just like that, Reed had no choice but to tap out. Now, our next match, we have Top Flight taking on a very interesting combination. Soleil, formerly known as Sidney Akeem, he teams up with the base god Gringo Loco, and I thought this match was pretty good. I mean, there was a lot of high-flying spots. I mean, we know Soleil actually knows how to do crazy stunts, and so is Gringo Loco. But when it comes to Top Flight, we know they're very cohesion very well, because they're brothers. They've been teaming up who knows how long. But it was Dante that picked up the win onto Gringo Loco, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Next up, we have the Inspiration taking on Becca and Maddie Max. Well, this match ended, of course, with the Inspiration winning it when they applied the Idolizer on Becca, and Cass Lee picked up the win. 1, 2, 3, it was done. Next up, we have Viva Van taking on Sarah Leone. Well, I was kind of hoping Viva was going to win in some ways, because people recognize her more. She's been appearing a lot in both AEW and Ring of Honor in recent times. But she pulled off a pretty good win by applying the Electro Chair onto her, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Next up, we have the tag team known as Paid in Full, Big Bill and the Bounty Hunter Brian Keith, taking on Vin Parker and Nick Haley. Obviously, this match was going to go straight to Paid in Full, because they took them out with double big boots onto Nick Haley, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Next up, we have Christian XO, affiliated with both the Infantry and Shane Taylor promotions, taking on Frankie B. Well, this match ended with Christian XO applying a scissor kick, or the axe kick, however you want to do it, and it was over right from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, done. Our main event, we have TMDK, Shane Haste, Mikey Nichols, and Bad Dude Tito taking on RPG Vice, Trent Beretta, and Rock Romero, along with Mark Davis. Together, they are part of the Don Callis family. Well, of course, it was going to be interesting, because we know that Don Callis family are proving their dominance in AEW recently in months. But now they want to prove that in Ring of Honor as well. But in the end, it was Mark Davis who walked away with the win when he applied a pile driver onto Bad Dude Tito. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Just like that. So we'll see what happens next time. I'm not sure if Supercard of Honor is this weekend or the following weekend, but we'll just have to wait and see. But for now, Let's move on to our last review, and that is, of course, TNA. Okay, TNA. We opened up with Vincent taking on Jeff Hardy. Now, according to what was reported, that both Dutch and Matt Hardy were in fact, of course, banned from ringside. So a part of me would think that Dutch would try to show up. The match was okay at start, but however, when you thought that in some point Vincent was about to pick up the win, the lights went out, and all of a sudden we saw delete, delete. That's right. Matt Hardy went back to his old persona. One of the most ones that made him popular was the broken Matt Hardy. So he's back. And of course, when the lights went out, nobody knew exactly what happened. You see Vincent lying on the mat with his back onto it, and of course Jeff Hardy applied the swanton. 1, 2, 3. It was over. So it's still unclear how that happened, but however, Jeff Hardy picked up the win. Now, Gia Miller conducted an interview with Frankie Kazarian, who's going to be in a main event against Elijah for the Walk with Elijah match, which has a very interesting rules. Excuse me. Anyway, so he pretty much feels that he has everything game planned exactly how it's gonna be. I mean, it's no secret that he figures ways out to get himself in messes that he put himself into. But we'll see what happens. Our next match is for the TNA International Championship. Adam Brooks, who is from Australia, as you know, became the first competitor to challenge, of course, Mustafa Ali, who, as you know, the last time they put flags, who represents, and Adam Brooks is one of those persons. Now, I highly doubt that Adam Brooks was going to pick up the win, but it was Mustafa Ali that was able to pick up the win by, of course, taking advantage of the situation, how things were going with Adam Brooks. Uh, Put up a 450, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, Eric Young put out a video promo talking to EC3. As you know, their feud has raging on ever since after when EC3 made his re-debut in, of course, on Rebellion, and now it seems that Eric Young is questioning him, his character, who he is. But later, he of course declared that he wants to deal with them in an anything goes type of match. I'm sure if that was the case, but we'll see how that happens next week. Now, our next match, we have Milo Moore, Victoria Crawford, and Tessa Blanchard dealing with Mara Shade, Allie, and of course Rosemary. As you all know, Moore, Crawford, and Blanchard ended up being in the Undead realm. Well, you can tell that who made her return, and that is Allie. And I thought the match was pretty well. I did. And if you guys ever did see how the whole storyline with Allie and Rosemary was, it was a very unique storyline. And now we're seeing the same thing with Mara Shade. But in the end, it was Allie with the codebreaker onto Milo Moore. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, we had a surprise video message from the director of Authority, Santino Marella. It was just been told that he is now, in fact, reinstated. His suspension has been lifted. So basically, as you know, whatever investigation Daria Ray was telling them about was never, of course, at fault, because there was, in fact, a star witness. Now, he went back onto business to declare what happened last week with Moose and Cedric Alexander, as you know, ended up in a 2-on-4 situation where he thought it was a bad call. So he's giving Moose and Leon Slater another opportunity to deal with the system in a 2-on-2 scenario. However, he did also announce that KC Navarro and Nick Bennett will challenge the system, more specifically Brian Myers and Bronson Reed, for the TNA World Tag Team belts, of course. And of course, he also mentioned that the TNA Knockouts World Title will be once again defended, and Lee Mei Ying will have her consensual rematch clause the right way. But he also made it clear that Zaya Brookside is banned from ringside. And then, of course, he introduced his eyewitness to the whole account, Indy Hartwell. And of course, Indy Hartwell, as you know, made some declarations saying that, she's back and it was an unjustly suspension. And of course, Daria Ray, mentioned her. But she also said that she still has unfinished business with Aria Grace. Now, of course, if she has no problem with Li Yingli getting another opportunity for the belt, but she did say to Aria Grace, belt or no belt, she'll be coming after her regardless. So you can tell that this is unfinished business. Now, Mike Santana did a video promo. He gave props to Rich Swann after an amazing match they had last week. But of course, he was a bit interrupted by Nick Bennett. As you know, Nick Bennett has the opportunity to cash in the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match. Remember, there was co-winners. Frank Kazarian was amongst them. He already used it, and now Nick Bennett is one that still hasn't cashed it in. But he has to prepare himself with his tag team title match against Casey Navarro. Now, Daria Ray, well, I have to say, she must be like thinking that I just heard this right, that Santino is really, his suspension is lifted. So he called, I'm going to presume, Carlos Silva, because I'm going to presume that whatever investigation she put out, it did not pan out like she thought it did. And of course, the same thing with Indy Hartwell. And not to mention, he asked, are these matches that he announced are legit? Well, it turns out it is. What do you expect, Daria? Did you really think that you're so-called, you keep calling people rational? Well, I have to say, she's the rational one out of everyone. And Indy Hartwell decided to rub it in her face that she was back. But Daria Ray goes out saying, your contract is up. So it's more like she's still trying to play fire with fire in this matter. And then Indy Hartwell made a phone call. Now, I don't know what it is, but recently, or during that time, apparently, some people were joking, is she calling you-know-who? If you guys can guess it, yeah, it's Dexter Lumis. I don't know what he goes on by now. I think he had a name called Samuel Shaw back in the day, but we're not sure. We'll see. Now, we did see Mara Shade and Allie celebrating their victory together, and it seems that, Mara Shade is enjoying the whole undead realm, and now Rosemary, as you know, for a long time had to put up for Allie's, her ways, and now she has to do the same thing with Mara Shade. He's like, oh boy, I had to put up with Allie, and now this. So I thought, yep, that's what exactly happened. Now, Gia Miller went to talk to Ling Yingli. As you know, Ling Yingli's been suffering a lot after what she's dealt with after losing the TNA Knockouts World title. She was planning on going home. Of course, Tommy Dreamer decided to give her a little pep talk and all that, saying, that Santino should not have put the pressure on to you, but you are leading a true warrior. And that's exactly, he said that he has her back no matter what. Now, Cedric Alexander, of course, comes out. No, Leon Slater, as you know, he once again has to deal with Cedric Alexander. Now, Cedric Alexander accused Leon Slater as a child, a fraud, because he feels someone like him should not have been the X Division champion. And of course, the system was going to show up and help him out. But luckily, Moose showed up and gave him a helping hand. And just like that, the whole thing was matter. Now, Ryan Bennett, as you know, recently has been acting up like, what the hell? Why is my big brother hanging out with Casey Navarro? He's not family. Well, he's like, he was talking all this crap about how I'm the brother, Casey's the fake brother and all that stuff. And he's talking about this to AJ Francis. Like, AJ Francis, like, I don't want to hear about your drama with your family. Do I look like a therapist to you? Take that to family counseling. And, he's not wrong about that. If that's the case, take it to family counseling. But, of course, he did say he's going to deal with Casey Navarro himself. So you can tell how that's going to be. Now, our next match, which is our main event, is the Walk with Elijah, which it's a guitar strap match. And, of course, the same rules apply where you hit all four corners. But the only wrinkle here is that this match doesn't start in the ring. It starts in the back. So basically, the fight starts in the back, and they have to drag their sorry butts into the ring. But you can tell how this is going to go. They're going to try to use each other by dragging them along into walls, barricades, whatever they're gonna use to destroy each other. But the the equalizer was Elijah's guitar when he wiped out Frank Kazarian, and just like that, he hit all four corners of the ring. One, two, no, four corners of the ring, and just like that. So Elijah got his victory against Frank Kazarian. Finally, after Frank Kazarian got away with winning by cheating this entire time. So everything worked out. But I can't wait to see how things will roll for next week. So until then, let's wrap up our episode with some news updates. Alright, so welcome to our news update. So let's begin with some upcoming events, starting with GCW as always. Now, as you know, May 2nd, we have the one night only in the ECW arena. It was announced that Gringo Loco will take on Vengador. And then finally, as you know, names have been mentioned for the upcoming event on June 20th in Indianapolis for the last ones left. This time they announced Shotzi Blackheart will be involved. Now, Stardom has now announced, of course, that the New Blood Tag Team belts will be defended on May 6th. So, our current champions, Sakurada, consisting of Aya Sakura, and our current and newly crowned World of Stardom champion, Sayaka Kurara, will defend the tag belts against Ane Kanaya and Matoi Hamabe. So, this is going to be a very interesting matchup. And that's pretty much it for upcoming events. Now, on to some, of course, developments here. Now, if you guys saw the last episode I mentioned about in our news update section, of course, of Carlos Silva, about pulling some, about his decisions that he had to make recently about pulling talent. I got the full transcript here so everybody can pay attention. And I will make some point out or things here. It was super tough. And look, all these business decisions are tough. I don't like being called a little bitch on social media any more than anyone does. But it's okay. Do you take the goods with bads and you make some hard decisions? My job sometimes is to make hard decisions, and for the fans, for all of you. Our locker room, we're gonna make decisions that are good for TNA. And we got to protect TNA. As Kevin Plank and Under Armour used to say, you got to protect this house. It's a real slogan. We have some other folks come at us. They're moved into our nights, and they have made some decisions, and they try to block us in the arenas and venues. The stuff's real, and it's out there, and it's okay because everyone's gonna make decisions for their business. But we're all not gonna lie down and make decisions that are, unfortunately, sometimes those decisions are tough. Look, I mentioned this before on the last episode. Yes, we have seen AEW did their shows on Thursdays for Collision, and they only did that due to the fact that they don't want to compete with WWE, knowing that it's a bigger show. And that's the thing that, of course, Carlos Silva, in my opinion, is overlooking. Yes, you're upset that they showed up on a Thursday, but it's not their fault. They had to do what was best for the decisions. You're saying that it's tough decisions for you. What about them? They had to make tough decisions. And like I said before, I don't recall AEW blocking venues from them. I wonder where they get that idea coming from. And that, I don't know. And that's the practical thing that bothers me about him. Now, he did say, we're very thoughtful about them, and we try to do best to make good. And when we have those decisions, and in the case of Nick and Leon, and the few the matches that had to get shut down, we try to make good and make calls to take care of the business best as we could. It was my decision, and I'll take full ownership. I've got it. Have a great team, and we talk about these things together. But sometimes I'm the guy that has to make that decision and then make you move on. You gotta work the next day, and you work hard again and get the stuff done. Yeah, I get it. You have to make the choice, but the problem is he should have known better that some people were not gonna like it. And I mean, it's not an easy decision, but I'm glad that he took full responsibility, because he knows that people are going to look at him as the villain, and that's, pretty much okay. And I'm not going to lie about that. Now, we also saw the last episode regarding, we talked about um, Anna Jay once again was in a spotlight. Now, there's been some misinformation about Anna Jay that we've been hearing, and Anna Jay decided to set the record straight, and I did mention about that last time. However, I got the full transcript on that too. So so let's read exactly what she says. It's not a big deal, but a lot of stuff going online that you guys have been seeing, a lot of it's not true. I guess allegedly the source was someone who used to work with me, and he no longer is working for me as a few months ago. So I don't know exactly if that's true or not, but apparently came from him. The only thing of everything that's been posted that's true is my contract is coming up, but that's it. That's it. Not a big deal, and everything else you guys are pretty that you guys have been seen is pretty much BS. And this was on our Twitch account, of course. Now, of course, it's no secret that she was setting the record straight. And it's true. The only thing we did hear about her that her contract was up, but they never mentioned when or where did it happen. Of course, if you guys saw the video, let's just say that her boyfriend, her man, Jungle Jack Perry, is saying that it was this guy that she mentioned, or is Sean Ross Sapp. Now, there have been many times Sean Ross Sapp has always got the truth out, confirmed everything that came out was true. Now, I don't know about this one, but hopefully if he can get the right information out so we can understand what the hell was happening. But we'll see what happens until then. But for right now, we are done. Let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, haven't decided yet, but we'll just have to wait and see. I know there's been another Stardom show event because, as you know, they're on the road to the Grand Dynasty that will happen, of course, in the month of May. I can't wait to see that, which, of course, 2 matches have been announced, which is the red and the white belt will be defended in singles action. So, can't wait to see what that's going to turn out. But for now, we'll leave things as it is, and we'll see how things happen for the next episode. And I am on the verge, of course, of begin work on the next discussion video. It's talking about Sayaka Kurara. As you all know, this past Sunday she won the World of Stardom Championship, which is a topic that we definitely will be about her as her reign and what can we expect. But we'll talk a whole lot about her, a whole lot more. So stay tuned for that. But as of right now, we'll leave things as it is. And until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.